and Alabama A&M. First Take is hosted by celebrity sports journalist Stephen A. Smith and Molly Curran. Stephen A. is an HBCU grad from Winston-Salem State University. The other dates for live broadcasts on an HBCU campus include August 28th at Norfolk State, October 29th at Delaware State, and November 20th at Bethune-Cookman. First Take is a live 2-hour show that airs Monday through Friday on ESPN, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Time. The show is repeated at 9 a.m. on ESPN2. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money P. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. First. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. Go sis.
First things first. KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning, and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. And my very first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. We have reached midweek. That's a good thing. A hump day, as they say. And this is how we do things on a Wealth Building Wednesday. Hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast side of town, the Pacific Ocean side of things. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. Topping off the hour with a Wealth Building Wednesday, focusing on recycling black dollars and supporting local BIPOC, women-owned, and socially innovative businesses. And in hour three, we do a deep dive with a hot topic, a person of interest, etc. Today, we'll be talking with Ambassador John Feely and looking at what is happening with anti-American sentiment abroad, their ambassadorial observations during this Trump era. It's a lot, so we'll take a look at that and get his thoughts on some things that are going on around and about. And, of course, you're invited in every hour at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. That's the number wherever you're at. You want to get in. The other way to get in, go to youtube.com. You can watch us streaming. It's KBLA 1580. You can make comments in the chat. I think people who are shy and don't like to get on the radio like to get in the chat, and also folks who are at work. They're not supposed to be talking on the phone. And we welcome you. We welcome you. We're glad you're here with us as part of our KBLA delegation. So lots to do and lots to say today. And I'm joined bright and early by two folks in the studio with me. Now, before I introduce these folks, I want to make sure I don't forget. Apparently, this heat wave situation that we have coming up tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday is pretty serious. The good news is no high wind like we had in January when we had the huge fires. The bad news is red flag fire alert and super triple digit temperatures expected, not just in the valley, but in LA proper. So if you're like me and you don't have air, go to the library, go to the mall, find a friend's house. There's cooling stations. You can call 311 for city information and find out where there's a cooling station, especially for kids and older Americans. You can actually die or get really sick from heat exhaustion, heat stroke. There's like 4 or 5 different types of heat diseases that can take you out or take you down. So hydrating, and not just water, eating things like watermelon, cucumber, things that have water in them, and hydrating your body. And I hate to bring it up because I know it's trauma, but got to have the go bag ready because the fire danger is really high right now. I hate to say it. I didn't even want to drag mine out the closet, but you got to have your go bag ready in case you got to put your stuff in the car, or the neighbor's car, and get the heck out. Because it's really, 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 really unseasonably crazy early fire season hot between now and Sunday. Okay? So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. Tell a friend. Check on your neighbor, especially if you've got an older American as a neighbor. Make sure that they got water. A fan is good, but it's sometimes you actually have to cool down your body, which means you need to go get in the air. I remember when we didn't need air in LA, but those days are gone. Okay, so I'm joined in studio by a couple of special guests. Maybe you remember the Pan-African Film Festival this year it's usually the Pan-African Film and Art Festival. And this year it was just Film Festival. There were some other cuts and things, crazy times with a new president and a hostile environment for not just art, culture, politics, DEI, black people, but also travel. And so it's really exciting to note that even though it may be a few months later, the art part is back and is here. And it's so we've got some folks in studio that can talk to us about that. And also I hope they have some thoughts about what's going on with the attack on art, which seems to be a national art, museums, culture, seems to be a national pastime of this president. We're joined in studio by one of the artists himself, Artfest artist, does both painting and graphic work, Kenneth Vaughn.
Yes,
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So the art thing is happening. We get to go and shop and spend all the money we don't have and support our fellow creatives.
That's true.
What year would this be for you for Artfest participation?
This would be my 4th year.
Okay, not bad. I know some folks, we get new people in every year, and some people have been, 20 years in with this process. We're also being joined by the marketing director for Pan-African Film Festival. I never even knew Pan-African Film Festival had a marketing director. Marc Brogdon, welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you in. So, when, the marketing thing, what, when, why, how, who, is it back in August?
Yeah, so let me begin by saying that we believe artistic expression takes a bunch of forms. So when we say that the art portion of the festival has been postponed, we believe that film is also part of art and fashion is part of art. This is our 32nd year. I think that was your earlier question for the Pan-African Film
no,
and
I
Art
was just
Festival.
wanting to know how long he'd been in there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
And so we're excited that this year we are expanding our footprint beyond just the 1 month of February, and we're doing different things throughout the year. And so the Art Festival is this August 21st to the 24th, and we're very excited to have it.
In other words, starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow. So all that can hear my voice, we hope to see you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tradition. We're used to kind of doing both, and definitely missed that piece of the experience this year. But I know that Pan-African Film Festival is going through another evolution, right? Mm-hmm. Partly because that's how it stays 30-something years. I mean,
Right.
we've lost a lot of our Black institutions and traditional events in Southern California.
True.
And we did experience some loss during the fires with some of our artists, and so we were trying to be sensitive to what was happening in February, and so we pulled back a little bit from the art show, and it reimagined itself to this August. So we're excited to be back.
So the films are not back, but but all of the amazing artists, and what if you haven't been, there's sculpture, there's painting, there's earrings. Somehow there's always earrings, and there's like fine arts. There's huge giant pieces, there's small personal artworks. I mean, it's super fancy expensive art, and you know, you can find something small that you can afford. It's really quite an undertaking, right?
Truly. And on Saturday we will have a screening of Inyanu, an amazing animated film. So Saturday is fun day, so we'd like everybody to bring out their families and see this amazing film and experience a whole day for kids and family.
Yeah, and it's the rest of the films aren't back. Just that one.
Just that one.
Don't get all. Don't go to PAFF.org looking for your film guide, but all of this is taking place back at Baldwin Hills.
Back at Baldwin Hills, yes.
Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza, because sometimes, you know, we're at the Directors Guild and the Culver City Theater and different iterations of the festival. But right now, typically we look for the art festival at the mall itself, the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw.
We're excited to be back at the Baldwin Crenshaw Plaza.
Yeah, I'm going to reserve my comments because I don't want to get you guys in trouble, but for my opinions. But yeah, I'm glad it's back at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza too. We're going to leave that right there.
Yeah, we just believe that the neighborhood has embraced us for so many years, and that they're excited to see us back, in the community.
Well, you brought some of your art so the folks on YouTube can see, and I want to, when we come forward, I want to get your thoughts on some of the things going on with art in this time. You know, my father, the late Amiri Baraka, was known as the founder of the Black Arts Movement, and one of the reasons for that, after the assassination of Malcolm X, had to do with the role of the arts in uplifting and encouraging people and activism and just joy in threatening times. And I think that time during the 1960s, when we saw the assassinations of King and Malcolm X and Kennedy and another Kennedy, it was historically very, very fraught times. I feel like, even though we haven't seen any assassinations of political figures, or this time is just as fraught. I mean, the threats that we are facing to our history, to our culture, the juggling of alliances and enmities on the world stage, the presence of a person who is purely transactional in our White Houses, leading to another kind of peril. And I think another time in our history when the arts are going to be a life raft of sorts for our spirit, our soul, and our everyday lives. We'll look at that and more, and you're always welcome in. 800-920-1580 is the number. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change, with workshops workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we're back to me, but it's not just me. Kenneth Vaughn, who is an actual artist whose work will be featured in the festival starting tomorrow, and Marc Brogdon, the marketing director for the Pan-African Film Festival, are here. So you brought some art, and that's a great way to start our morning, a little creative refresher for our mental palates. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it, but we'll be able to describe to you. This one is, what is that?
It's a cafe, and it's Mrs. Harris's Cafe.
Yeah, I mean, is it watercolor? Is it collage?
This is pencil.
Pencil.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I know it looks different. It looks almost like a vintage kind of coloring. The way the colors are. It's beautiful. Mrs. Harris, and this is based on your real life.
Real life, where I could never go to this cafe. My father wouldn't allow me to go. But he didn't come to the school. It was just that back in the day when your parents told you what not to do, you wouldn't do it. So I never walked across the street.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So
that's a beautiful piece. Okay.
Piece. And,
yeah. And then we'll slide through some others. Let's see, you have a second one you want to show?
Oh, sure.
It's one of the things I love about going to the arts festival is that there are so many different mediums. He's got that piece in pencil. You'll see oil paintings. You'll see collages. Okay, what do we see? What are we seeing right here?
Okay, this is pencil again.
Wow.
And the name of this piece is Y.
Y, and it just has the letter Y with a period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so all my pieces have a spiritual reference to this. Like if you look at the picture, you draw your own conclusion. But what is more important or least important, physical bondage or mental bondage?
Okay, we could do a whole show on that.
So,
yeah. When my sister is like an art historian. She teaches that at Columbia. She's a curator. She has books on art. She's, done shows at LACMA. She's brilliant. I, on the other hand, don't know a lot about visual art. Well, one of the things my sister, her name is Kelly Jones, one of the things she taught me is that it's really about how that piece makes you feel and how it resonates with you when you're shopping for art. You agree with that?
Yes.
Unless you're Jay-Z and then you're investing. Those of us who, don't have that kind of investment capital. And so what is this next one that we're going to see?
Okay, this one's charcoal.
This one's charcoal, and it's it looks like it's the continent of Africa.
Yes.
With a face looking out at us.
And it says, I see you. Like Africa is dependent on us to rise up and understand we're all as one. But because of neo-colonialism and how one's raised, they don't see it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Most people.
So far, I think at least 2 out of the 3 pictures, paintings, drawings, art pieces you've shown would be illegal under this current administration. Get them while you can.
They'd be censored.
They'd be censored, yeah. And you have another one?
I only bought 3. I have you come to the show,
I thought I
have
missed
a
one.
plethora of them. So,
Yeah.
It's with the other artists. But all my pieces have a spiritual connotation behind it, because it's not about money. It's about the art form, like the humanities. When you look at the music, the writers and stuff, they never did it for the money. They did it for the art form.
Right.
And so I live with that mantra in my
Well,
spirit.
it's funny because one of the things the Pan-African Arts Film and Arts Festival is known for is artists from all over the world, right?
Exactly.
But you're from here.
Yes.
Which is also good.
Yeah, actually, I was a closet artist. I just did it for myself, just that quiet space. But when I lost my mom, it changed everything. I was in a dark space, and I met a brother, Ronnie Stevens, there, and we kind of talked for a few minutes. And I gave him one of my pieces of artwork, and he says, "Hey man, what are you doing with this stuff?" I said, "Man, I'm a closet artist." He said, "Man, you got to show the world." And so here it is 4 years later, doing a lot of traveling with him and by myself of selling my pieces. And
life changer, huh?
It's a life changer.
Nothing like another brother to step forward and going, "What are you doing?"
Well, it was a creator saying, "I got you for all the work you've done in the past. Now I want to show you something different."
Mm-hmm.
And so
but you said you're like local.
I'm not crazy, but local. I'm local. Yeah, I was born and raised here. I wanted to be an architect. If you come to the show, you can see a lot of my pieces. You'll be saying, how do you monetize your work with the bricks and the lines and stuff like that? Well,
yeah, I can see it a little bit in the store, just the way you drew the building. And anyway, congratulations on that rebirth, or new chapter as being an artist who is now no longer a closeted artist. Where are we with that as far as people from everywhere?
So we're really excited this year that our featured artist is Bakori Santos. He's a Brazilian artist, and we have over 30 artists that are coming in, both regional, national, and global. So we would love for you guys to come and experience both fine art and arts and crafts and everything else.
Yeah, and it's nice if you can bring your wallet, bring your credit card, support the artists. I think sometimes we don't do that. And you know who I'm talking about when I say we. Because it's easy to take art for granted or just go and get a nothing. But an original art piece is super important, just in terms of energetically and in terms of supporting artists.
That's so true.
Yeah, our curator and our artistic director, Alan, is from Ghana. And so he's curated an amazing festival this year, as well as brought in artists from all around the world. So we're really, truly honored to display that this year.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the national stage, the president is attacking the Smithsonian Museum. He's on a mission to purge all of these various cultural institutions of things that he says conflict with his political agenda, his political directives. We've seen Republicans and Democrats come and go in the White House, more conservative, more liberal, over the years, but I don't believe we've ever seen a president or an administration go to this extreme of going into picking and choosing what artwork can be displayed at museums, what pieces can be performed at the Kennedy Center. As of yesterday on Truth Social, the president directed his attorneys to review all of the museums that receive federal funding and look at what they have and see if it meets his criteria of what his political agenda is. He says, quote, "The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished and downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future." And it is ironic because when he was president last time, he visited what they call the Blacksonian, which is the African American Museum, that one institution within the Smithsonian group, and praised it. Now he is dead set on going in there and taking things out that don't reflect his vision. How do you respond to that as an artist, Kenneth? Like how does that set with your soul or your creative spirit?
Put more out there and let it visually resonate in people's spirit. But we actually were really witnessing what they call color immunity. And so people don't understand that point because of the simple fact that you have to look at the whole picture. So when you look at a painting, you have to see what the artist is trying to convey. And when you look at the president, I don't do politics because where I grew up and stuff, we call it politricking because it's easy to sway. So you actually see what's going on in the society today. And so the humanities is the keepsake for all of us, regardless of color, because it's supposed to touch your spirit, music, dance, writing, and all that. So that's part of the journey. So I try to, if you come to this show, you'll see a bunch of my work, good, bad, and indifferent, but it's supposed to touch your soul. When you walk away, you'll say, I saw this piece, even though you may not purchase the piece, it resonates in your spirit as you take each step and each second of your journey in life. And that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can say we don't do politics or politricks. I know some people that like to call it that too. But, I mean, part of the whole conversation and impulse behind the Black Arts Movement is it's all political, whether we say it is or it isn't.
That's true.
I mean, you can say you don't do politics, but Trump can look at that picture of Africa with a black man's eyes looking back and say, you're persecuting white people. Let's bring some more South Africans here and give them visas. So, I mean, perspectives is politics. In my opinion, and maybe it's because I was raised by Mary Baraka, Diane DiPrima, and artists who always kind of stated that our art is political, whether we say it is or not.
You're so right.
Even when we choose not to say something, we say something.
That's true. But I found that in my travels is that we as individuals, we don't look at the whole picture. We only look at half the picture. That's why I don't talk politics, because you have to look at the whole thing, because the inception of America is based on two things, death and destruction. That's how it was started, and they haven't changed their ways. Is that they got the same game plan. People just don't see it.
Well, and we just got 40 seconds here before news, traffic, and sports. Let's remind folks how to go and see, buy, hang out.
Yes.
So the Pan-African Artfest starts this Thursday, the 21st through the 24th at the Baldwin Crenshaw Plaza. It opens at 11 o'clock, and we have some amazing displays and artists, and we really hope that you guys are going to stop by and come hang out with us, Kenny.
Yes. Oh, yes. You got brothers from Nigeria, Peter and all those guys are here. They come every year. It's a beautiful thing. It's almost like a gumbo pot, what you got all these different flavors, and that's the important thing, getting a taste of that flavor.
Yep, and of course the people always have the last say so on what lives and what dies in the art world. 800-920-1580 if you want to say a thing about a thing. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Here's what's trending this hour. A group of 20 states is suing the Trump administration over the termination of a FEMA program. On Wednesday, the states filed a lawsuit against FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security seeking to block the shutdown of a key disaster preparation program. The suit claims the shutdown was illegal and violated separation of powers. FEMA's Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities program provided federal funding to disaster mitigation projects until it was shut down earlier this year. I'm Bree Wood with What's Trending.
Ignite your afternoons at Waba Grill's $5 happy hour with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink, like our tangy passion fruit lemonade. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. Only at Waba Grill.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers got back on track Tuesday night. They had 18 hits in their 11-4 win at Colorado. Shohei Ohtani hit his 44th homer of the season. He's second in Major League Baseball to Seattle catcher Cal Raleigh, who has 47 homers. Dodgers rookie left fielder Alex Call was 4 for 5 at the plate with a home run and 2 RBIs. If Call had been able to get a triple last night, he would have hit for the cycle. The Angels lost to Cincinnati again 6-4. Cincinnati pitcher Hunter Green had 12 strikeouts. The LA Sparks are back in action tonight against the Dallas Wings at Crypto.com. With 10 games left in the WNBA regular season, the Sparks are a game behind the Seattle Storm for the 8th and final playoff spot. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford practiced with the team again on Tuesday. Rams coach Sean McVay is still undecided on whether to give Stafford some game action in the preseason. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Fatherhood includes being present during pregnancy, delivery, and beyond, supporting your partner and advocating for your baby's health. Black fathers play a key role in reducing maternal and infant health inequalities. Join the free AIM Fatherhood Program and make a difference. Visit blackinfantsandfamilies.org/fatherhood.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Imagine a world without heart disease and stroke, where every person has the chance to live a full and healthy life. Join us for a walk to save lives at the American Heart Association's Greater Los Angeles Heart and Stroke Walk, Saturday, September 20th at the Rose Bowl. Every step made and every dollar raised means more people learning CPR, more life-saving research, and more time with the ones we love. Sign up at heartwalkla.org. The LA Heart and Stroke Walk is sponsored by Optum, UCLA Health, Keck Medicine of USC, and Dignity Health.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Make my day.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, thank you for doing so. I'd love to hear from you. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Look, I'm so dismayed but not surprised to see the attack on art that's happening on the federal level. But I think supporting it on the local level, the national level, in our homes, making some art, going to see some art. We got a lot of music and art and poetry and stuff on deck for you next week. It's just turning out that way, but I'm really excited about it because I feel like this is what's needed. It's the energy drink for our souls right now in these times of 12 kinds of crazy, okay? And it's part of my plan and my pledge that we make every day around here to be courageous. I was having a conversation yesterday with a friend about the difference between fearlessness and courageousness because, and it's funny because it came up in the chat too during the show on YouTube. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Someone said fearlessness means having no fear, which is not as brilliant as being courageous, because when you're courageous, you overcome fear. Either way it goes, overcoming fear is what I mean. When I say fearlessness is the way forward, that's what I mean. It means rejecting false expectations appearing real. It means not being controlled by the mind killer. It means having the courage to speak out, to make your art, to do your work. And speaking of speak out, somebody who's been supporting the Pan-African Film and Arts Festival in many ways for many years is tapping in real quick with another perspective. Jasmyne Cannick, good morning. Award-winning Gen X, wait, I forgot the bio. Award-winning Gen X journalist, fashionista.
You're so funny.
Well, they're all true. Good morning.
You're so funny. Just a homegirl. You are funny. Good morning, everyone.
You should be used to it by now. How long have we been friends?
That's why I'm laughing. Yeah. Right, and that's why I'm laughing.
So, yeah, this is, I didn't want to cause any turmoil for the Pan-African Film and Arts Festival, but I'm glad to see something happening in that doggone mall.
I mean, absolutely. I think for me, it's a couple of things, right? So I think a lot of people listening, particularly on KBLA, are one, happy, yes, something is happening at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw, but also just that many of us, like you, Dominique, have that understanding of what it used to be Black in this city. We used to have the marketplace. We used to have all of these annual events. And now when you think about it, while we may have events here and there are very few that have stood the test of time, right? Maybe the MLK parade, maybe you could put the Taste of Soul in there, but the Taste of Soul is still, I would say, kind of relatively new. It's not in the 30 and 40 years old event category.
Right, it's a
yet.
new institution, yeah.
Right, but the Pan-African Film Festival has been around 34 plus years. And so I think when our people see the Pan-African Film Festival coming around in February, it brings a sense of, okay, well, we still have this event. Well, we still have this, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's throwing folks a little off that it's happening in the summer. But, here's the thing. We have the wildfires. We had a lot happening at the beginning of this year. Better late than never. And, I'm excited because this is one of my, I love the films, but I especially love the Artfest.
I mean, it's kind of nice in a weird way to have them separated, only because I always feel like I'm torn between wandering around between the paintings and earrings and things.
Yeah.
There's clothing there too, by the way. I mean, there's just all
wearable
kinds of
art,
stuff.
yeah.
Wearable art, excuse me. Yeah. It's all there, and this year they're separate. I assume this is a one-time thing. That they're going to be reunited.
You know what? I don't know. I honestly don't know, and this is why I'm going to say that. The family, I call PAFF my family, right, has worked really hard to maintain this event for 30-plus years. But one of the things that, in order to maintain, is you do go back to the drawing board and say, what will make it better? What would our audience like better? So who knows? Maybe they'll decide to keep it separate. Maybe they'll put it back together. What I do know is that the Artfest is here to stay, and so is the film festival. So what I think, for this year, like I said, because of the wildfires, I think it's really important that folks make sure that they, come out and support the artists, but also let the city and the county know we still care about art. We still care about Black culture in the city, which is disappearing all of the time here. I was thinking about that the other day, Dominique, when I was driving through the city, really how many designated neighborhoods do we have that are named after African countries or West Indian spaces, right? Like, we do know about Little Ethiopia, right?
Right.
Little Ethiopia off of Fairfax. But then when I think about all of the other communities that have designated spaces and names when it comes to Africa and the West Indies, even though, in this state, 1 in 4 Black people are either a child of immigrants or an immigrant themselves, right? And that comes from a new study that Baji is getting ready to release. It makes me wonder, where are all of our heirs? We know we have a huge Belizean population. We know we have a huge population of Jamaican folks, but their mark I don't see on this city yet in writing, right? And so we have events like the PAFF Artfest and the Film Festival, these other sort of very Black, very African, very diasporic events. I'm like, let's do it. Let's show the county. Let's show the city that these events are important and that we want to be connected to our global brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, even though, I feel like we are building new institutions and new traditions. Happy to see the vision finally, I think, coming back. And I think
yes.
I feel like KBLA is
a long time.
Yeah, no, I felt like there was a curse there. It was like some kind of Twilight Zone situation where it was always 2-3 years away for decades. But anyway, you've got KBLA now. That's a new institution in town. That's Blackety Black. As in the mid to new is the Taste of Soul, which looks like it's going to be here to stay. It's huge and super popular, but you're right.
It grows bigger every year.
Yeah, it gets bigger and bigger. But you're right. We have seen, we still have the Black Business Expo, the African Marketplace, a couple of other film festivals that fell by the wayside, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some. So
yeah, no, there were quite a few events. I mean, the one that hits home for me. And always will is the loss of the African Marketplace.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Yeah, right. And I am so happy and so always here to support PAFF and so glad that we still have the Pan-African Film and Arts Festival, because not only do we get the Art Fest, but at least, we have a platform. This is Los Angeles, right? We have so many creative filmmakers, so many creative writers that don't get platforms, and that's what film festivals do. They give emerging filmmakers a platform, a place to be seen. We just came back from Austin, where they had the Pan-African Film Festival in Austin. I mean, it was in a community where people were craving for some culture. It was Austin.
Yeah.
You know, okay, so let me say that again. It was hot Austin. But yeah, no, folks came out in droves to see films that we had in February here in Los Angeles, out there in Austin. And it was a really great event. And while I love to travel around with the film festival, this is home. This is where the festival started. But for me, I think, you know, we always look at everything through a political lens, Dominique. And my thing is like, we need to keep our Black cultural events. We need to have our Black cultural events. We need to demand them. We need to have people in office who support them. And thankfully we do. But as everybody knows, there's term limits. People come and people go out of office. And we have to keep
demographics change.
Right. Demographics change. Luckily, this is not Texas, where they're trying to rewrite congressional, you know, where they're trying to rewrite lines. But my point is just that we have to consistently continue to show up to these events so that the powers that be know that the voters know that there is an audience here in Los Angeles for Black culture. And there absolutely is.
Yeah, there absolutely is. And I feel like
that's why KBLA exists.
Right. That's why, exactly. And it's growing bigger every month, too. And then if you look what's happening in Leimert Park, there is an explosion of businesses. It's more Black-owned in Leimert Park than it was a decade ago. More of the businesses are in buildings owned by Black people, including this one. More businesses are setting up shop here. So even it's weird because on the one, it's in the same neighborhood. You see this massive surge of gentrification, which to me unleashed itself in a big way during COVID. I started seeing more of my neighbors in the Crenshaw district selling their homes, or elders passing away and their homes being sold. I started seeing more and more white realtors knocking on doors trying to get folks to sell, and people rollerblading and walking poodles in neighborhoods that never would have.
Every morning I see that exact scene out my window. Yeah. And it scares me.
But at the same time, I think LA is doing something I haven't seen in New York or the formerly Chocolate City, which is that we are buying the block. You know, you've got Marathon Burger expanding. You have Soul Folks buying more property. You have, you know, people, Black people with money putting down stakes and circling wagons. So I don't know how.
That's great, but it's not enough, and we need more.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. And when I'm in this city, honestly, sometimes I'm just like, where are the rest of the Black people? Because the rent is too high. We're still being pushed out.
Yeah,
I look at what's going on in Altadena. You talk about what's going on in Leimert Park. What's going on in Altadena is absolutely horrific. I don't know if Altadena will ever look the same in terms of its Black residents, right? In terms of the number of Black homeowners that were in that city. So it's not something that we can rest on our laurels about. It's not something that we can say, oh, things are better, because it constantly changes and you constantly have to be up on game. It's great to know what's going on in Washington, D.C., but you have to pay attention to your zip code, or else you're going to wake up one day and you will see people, you know, rollerblading down the street,
right,
walking their dogs, doing all kinds of things, and you're like, where did the rest of my neighbors go? Which is sort of the situation I find myself in every single morning. I'm like, oh, wow, that's okay. Okay.
Yeah, well, we still holding on my few blocks, but I feel you. Yes, Jacqueline Anderson, the museum is still there in the mall. It's one of the only things still in the mall.
It's part of the art festival. It's part of the Art Fest this year.
And it's beautiful. Actually, I feel like it's been upgraded a bit, that museum. Jasmyne Cannick has been kind enough to check in with me this morning. We'll continue the convo when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
1455 Frazee, San Diego. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, listen to this. All it needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
Yeah, Jasmyne Cannick tapping in here. We're talking about art under attack and the return of the Pan-African Film Festival, Film and Art Festival, the art part of it, starting tomorrow at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall here in Los Angeles. Excuse me, right up the street actually from KBLA, which is always a fun experience. And it's also, you know, you get wearable art, you get fine art, big and small, and you also meet a lot of people. I find myself talking to artists and random people. People come from all over, so it's actually a social event as well.
I think so. It always is for me. I try to get, you know, as you know, my friends together to do that stroll around the art festival, pick up our art, our wearable art. Yes, I'm a fan of the wearable art. Just that's my favorite part. But I do also buy art that goes in my house. I mean, my house is full of a lot of Zebby's art. And Zebby is one of the artists, and I've gotten a lot of Zebby's work through the Pan-African Film and Arts Festival. Lucky for me, she's also based in LA, so I've gone to her actual studio. I am looking at a painting now that is humongous that I got from Muhammad Barrick through the Pan-African Film Festival of Nina Simone. So yeah, you know, as we get older, our taste in art improves. And I can definitely say I have taken full advantage of the art festival through the Pan-African Film Festival to deck out my home with it. So yeah, it's a full-on event.
I got some Charles Bibbs from there before. Really.
Oh, yeah.
Really nice, great stuff. But to your point, I mean, you were talking about Altadena, and I was so shocked at how many artists there lost everything. Their studios, all of their paintings burned, memorabilia. Something, you don't think of. Martine Sims was on this show. She's an artist from there, or well, at least her family hails from there. And just the number of artists who were devastated by that particular blaze. I know that also played a role in the delay of the art part of the Art and Film Festival.
Yeah, I mean, artists are real people. And, that situation in January affected a lot of different folks, from teachers to hairdressers to nurses to artists. And so, I just cannot stress enough how important it is for us as a community to continue to show with our presence at these events that these are the events that we want in our community, that these are the types of things that we want. Because when they're not around anymore, when there are no more platforms for these artists and these filmmakers, we're going to be disappointed and upset and faced with dealing with, whatever the people without color want us to do on an annual basis in the city. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what that is.
Yeah.
But
possibly pick lettuce, since they're throwing out all the people that, have been doing
art
it.
is under attack in this whole entire country.
Yeah, that is
Luckily,
true.
we're in California and we're in Los Angeles, but things change. Federal funding is being pulled from different events, different levels of government. There are a lot of things changing, and we have to step up and fill in the void. We have to show up for these events if we want them in our community.
I mean, that's real, because when we talk about DEI, people don't understand there are grants that go to museums, institutions, festivals, private businesses, training programs, supplemental help for businesses and various creatives, and a lot of that stuff is now gone. And the other piece, I mean, you've got 100 artists that will be at Artfest 2025 starting tomorrow from all over the diaspora. Get it while you can, because we don't know how long they're going to be giving out visas. And now they're talking about charging $15,000 deposit to get a visa to come here from certain African countries. Now, $15,000 US in those economies, you're talking about basically like what would be the equivalent of $100,000 or $200,000 for us to get a visa. And so, enjoy them while you can.
Yeah, if you can get the visa. So there's the option for the people who are going to be offered the $15,000, and then there are the people from the other countries where they've just said, no, you can't come.
Right.
And that's filmmakers, that's artists, that's musicians, that's everybody who's from that country. So yeah, absolutely. We got to support these folks while we can, and we have to also make sure that the county and the city knows that these are the type of events that we want in our community, because that's a real thing. You see events disappearing left and right all the time. I don't want to see the Pan-African Film Festival as one of those events, and luckily this community has showed up for 34 years, and it's still around. It's one of the oldest events that we have. It's from the good old 90s. Ooh. 1992 is when it started. So it has been around for quite some time.
And what a year that was. And actually, it's, the other thing you may not know is that it's free if you haven't been. You have to pay for your art, your wearable art, or whatever else you find, your snacks.
Right.
But the actual event is free. You can go and meet the artists and walk around and stuff. And I think it's a really important point, Jasmyne Cannick, that art is under attack. We see Trump going off on the Smithsonian, but that's just the top line. There's smaller crusades against your freedom of speech and freedom of expression going on, and we push back by showing up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Supervisor Holly Mitchell, who is a supporter of the Artfest.
Yay!
As well as Council President Marquise Harris Dawson and Councilmember Heather Hutt, who are also supporters. And I just also want to, I know there's a lot going on in the community, but I'm going to shout out Baldwin Hills Crenshaw, because they made it happen, and we're having it there, which is the OG location. It's the location everybody knows when they think of the Artfest. And I'm happy that people know it's going to be a familiar place.
Well said. We're going to leave that right there. You can find Jasmyne Cannick at Hello Jasmine on Instagram. And what's the website again? Why do I forget?
IamJasmine.com.
I am Jasmine. It has a Y, Jasmine with a Y. Jasmyne Cannick, always great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, Dominique. Have a great day.
I shall. I plan to. Wealth Building Wednesday is next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Here's what's trending this hour. A group of 20 states is suing the Trump administration over the termination of a FEMA program. On Wednesday, the states filed a lawsuit against FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security seeking to block the shutdown of a key disaster preparation program. The suit claims the shutdown was illegal and violated